Welcome back to part 2. As you can see, a gravestone and footstone, both put together now, in loving memory of Caroline, the beloved wife of Thomas Watling, who departed this life July the 17th, 1881, aged 54 years. Also Thomas Watling, who departed this life June the... that bit's gone, I'm afraid. 1901, aged, and that looks like 79 years. The footstone says Watling 1881, and that's when the wife died. I'll take you over to these war graves now. As you can see, some are more recent. 1978, 82. They stopped. See, I read on one website that they stopped burying in the 50s, and another one said that it was in the 1990s. So we have to bear that in mind. Here are our Commonwealth war graves. (5999062) Private J.A. Knight, Essex Regiment, 23rd of February 1921. So he must have been injured in the First World War and then died of his injuries afterwards to have been given that grave 3 years after the First World War. One 3710 Private T. Beavis, Essex Regiment, 7th of May 1918, aged 21. Three 04459 Sergeant T.J. Carley, Royal Engineers, 28th of January 1919, aged 40. He answered the call for the sake of those he loved. Two 0427178 Sapper L.C. Kettle, Royal Engineers, 16th of May 1940, aged 21. Something the days break, until the days break and the shadows flee away. And I only know that verse from the Spiritualist church and going there with my nan. See, some are private graves and some are Commonwealth war graves. And some are private graves, like this one, with Commonwealth war gravestones. W.L. Simmons, Stoker, First Class, Royal Navy. K/44781, HMS Roxburgh, 11th of December 1918, aged 29 years. In loving memory of Sarah Ann, the beloved wife of Herbert Warren, who departed this life April the 27th, 1912, aged 42 years. She is not dear, but she's not dead, but sleeping. Also Anne Purkis, the beloved wife of Thomas Purkis and mother of the above, who died July the 4th, 1893, aged 53 years. Her end was peace. Also Thomas Purkis, who died December the 24th, 1893, aged 69 years. Or 68, that could be, I think. He sleepeth in Jesus. So that must be Anne Purkis's husband, the lady above. Also, Herbert Warren, husband of the above, who died April the 8th, 1934, aged 67. Yeah, he's the husband of Sarah Ann, the lady at the top. Footstone. SAW, Sarah Ann Warren, 1912. AP, 1893. TP, 1893. And HW, 1934. See, gravestones in those days often had a footstone with them as well. Francis Archer, who died September the 4th, 1890, aged 76 years. Also Elizabeth, daughter of the above, who died April the 19th, 1881, and the age is gone because it's blistered. Another late 18th or 18th, early 19th century one, these types normally are. AKT, 1872. Something T, 1876. John Ockles, OCLES, died April something 1878, aged 53 years. Also of Jacob and Rachel, infant children of the above. Also of Sarah Ockles, who died September the 28th, 1871, aged 9 years. Also of John Ockles, who died October the 20th, 1871, aged 8 years. Also of Jacob Ockles, who died October the 28th, 1901, aged 65 years. Also of Eliza Ockles, who died December the 10th, 19, and that looks like 21, aged 84 years. In affectionate remembrance of my dear husband, John James Desmond, who died 10th of March 1910, aged 56 years. Also of Caroline Desmond, beloved wife of the above, who died 11th of April 1937, aged 80 years. Reunited. And this one here, all that you can make out on it is the top is an F, then below that is an S, then below that is an 1881. That's a footstone, and that's tucked up against this one here, which is completely worn away. Someone's graffitied on that one. In affectionate remembrance of Sophia Jane, only daughter of Francis Henry and Anne Simmons, who died the 21st December 1910, aged 24 years. Also have Anne, beloved wife of the above. Francis Henry Symonds, who died 31st of July 1913, aged 53 years. Francis Ashton Symonds, who was killed in action in France, October the 1st, 1918, aged 38 years. His life he gave for his country. Also of Francis Henry, the beloved husband of Sophia Jane Symonds, who fell asleep 15th of May 1933, aged 75 years. Rest. So this is what I mean about some of the Commonwealth war graves being marked with Commonwealth war grave stones and some of them being private. Frederick Dorrington. We covered that one, didn't we? Sometime chorister. This one here, got in loving memory of George Fox, who entered into rest October the 13th, 1914, aged 59 years. In affectionate something, I can't make out the bottom bit. Also of Isabella, wife of the above, who died September the 28th, 1980, in her 87th year. Yeah, is that 1980? That's 1980 or 1880. That's unusual. Is there a big age gap or a big discrepancy between the two of them? Some of these are actually handy because they're wet at the moment. Here lies John Henry M-E-R-T Myrtles, only son of John Henry Mertins, Esquire, of this parish, who departed this life the 26th of April 1740. Look how well this is preserved. In the 25th year of his age. Here also lies the above John Henry Mertins, Esquire, who departed this life the 20th the 26, spelled S-I-X-T-H, 6th day of April 1776, in the 85th year of his age. Here also lies his daughter Elizabeth Mertin, who departed this life the 11th day of January 1777, in the 58th year of her age. Also Henry Mertins, something, B-E-R something, Esquire, of Barton House, Warwick, something. He died October the 21st, 1818, aged 68 years. Some of these, as I said, are really well preserved, and you're getting the sun setting thing, and it is getting dreadfully cold. These ones here, there's a couple of smashed ones, unfortunately. But this one here, you can just make out. The top of it obviously is gone. And you've got Mrs. Helen Kettle, who died the 12th of January 1846, aged 62 years, beloved, lamented. Likewise, Mrs. Catherine Kettle, third wife of the above, So the above named person will be a man mentioned at the top of the stone, which no longer exists, who died 14th of July 1856, aged 57 years. Prepare to meet thy God. Then you've got, in memory of Sarah Moyes, wife of Simon Moyes of this parish, who departed this life November the 11th, 1797, aged 68 years. Oh, look how well preserved that is. I don't know what it is about this churchyard, but some of the old stones are really well preserved, which is great for us historians. I mean, I'm not a professional historian, I'm only a very amateur. But yeah, it's great nonetheless, shall we say. Is that one smooth? No, it isn't. Sacred to the memory of Mr. James Turnbull, who died May the 27th, 1804, aged 80 years. Also Mrs. Elizabeth Turnbull, wife of the above, who died October the 10th, 1803, aged 73 years. Also of 5 of their children. On we go. We're going to go round the side bit now to one that I found quite interesting in a minute. In memory of Mr. Daniel Dosseter, late of this parish, who departed this life November the 24th, 1791, aged 43 years. Also of Oliver Dosseter, son of the above, who departed this life March the something. I'm afraid that the year has gone. Aged 1 year and 6 months. One I found interesting was this one. It's broken in half, but look how well the inscription is preserved. Sacred to the memory of Robert Britton, Mr. Robert Britton, late of this parish, who departed this life March the 21st, 1822, aged 62 years. Also of 6 of his infant children, who died in their infancy. Also of Mrs. Sarah Herbert, late wife of Mr. Robert, who departed this life April the 18th, 18 something, and I'm afraid that's gone, aged 72 years. And the rest of it's pretty much worn away. Quite a few of these are worn away, these graves. I have to go a bit careful because there's some really big holes in the ground here. I was warned about these by one of the church wardens, luckily enough. In memory of William Palmer, died the 11th of January 1893, or 8, aged 34 years. Perpetrated by his wife's family. Oh. R.E. Reoretted, reorited by his wife's family. Reorited. I'll have to look that one up because I don't know what that means. Oh, there's more. In memory of Henry Joseph, son of James and Rebecca Palmer, of this parish, who died October the 8th, 1870, aged 20 years. There's a verse. Also James Palmer, for 24 years, clerk and sexton of this parish, who met with his death by the falling of a grave on the 16th of January 1878, aged 34 years. They were digging a grave basically, and he's died in an accident digging a grave. James Palmer, for 24 years, clerk and sexton. That's interesting. There's a verse, and then you've got Rebecca, something of the above, who died January the 11th, 1905, aged 84 years. I think that's mother of the above. That's fascinating. So he was the sexton of this churchyard and died in a grave digging accident on the 16th day of January 1876, aged 34. Is that 34? No, it's 54 years. Sorry, beg your pardon, it's 54 years. I was going to say, how can he be sexton if he was only 34 years old for 24 years? 54 years. Oh, that's interesting. So this is what I mean about churchyards. My trainers may be a bit mucky and muddy at the moment, but that's okay. Well, it's a part 1 and a part 2 for this one. As we saw on the inside of the church, that door that I said, "Cole, look at the age of that door, look at that old door," that's this door. Get some over here. In loving memory of Jane Chase, the beloved wife of Samuel Chase, died April the 1st, 1880, aged 72 years. Also the above named Samuel Chase died October the 2nd, 1891, aged 82 years. Oh. We come back to the old entry into the charnel house. It's very impressive vault, I must admit. And I'll take us back round to the front of the churchyard and on to our next location, which is the Cross Keys Tavern. Nice one. I was given permission to film inside once I stated what it was for and what it was about, as long as I don't print off any of the pictures, which is something I don't do anyway, so we were all covered by that. And nice people too. And the beer was quite cheap, I must admit, compared to a London pub. A pint was quite cheap, £4.60. And I shall end us off with Dagenham branch. To those who died in the service of their sovereign and country, we will remember them. This is the First World War memorial. So I hope you all oh Christ, that hurt. Hope you all found this interesting. Church and churchyard tour. There's some interesting ones buried in this churchyard and some very well preserved gravestones, I must say. Hope you all found it interesting, and thank you for watching. See you all on the next one, ladies and gents.